welcome to my sidereal astrology page. I'm Jessie and wanted to give you some quick insights into Mars and Venus in the chart. Now, for example, if you've got a Mars-Venus opposition in your tropical chart, you're going to have a Mars-Venus opposition in your sidereal chart. It's just going to be most likely in the sign before or moving back to the first few degrees of the same sign. Venus in the birth chart. She is a social planet. It's a point we look to in the chart for relationships, for social values, finding balance. She rules Libra, the sign of me and you, the other, finding balance, harmony. It's the seventh zodiac sign. Aries, the self, begins to learn about the other. She also rules Taurus, known for its very sensual expression. It's the symbolism and the archetype expression of the five senses of the physical body. The self is born through Aries, and through Taurus it begins to learn the basic needs in life, survival needs, which are of the material realm: feeling safe, security, shelter, money. These are all Venus ruled because we need to have some level of comfort in our everyday lives. We need to feel financially comfortable. We need to feel and enjoy the pleasures of life. Just as a baby comes out and it's just first starting to explore, the senses are pleasurable. We bring a lot of pleasure through the senses. Aromas, perfumes, the feeling, the sense of touch, a hug, tastes, foods, and sounds, music. All of this can be very healing. It stimulates the system. What's the one I'm missing? Sight. Oh my gosh, that's the main one. Maybe not the main one. They were all pretty main. But the beauty. Venus rules beauty. I find a lot of beauticians or beauty therapists or massage therapists with Venus and Taurus, often in the first house or on the Ascendant. Someone with Venus on the Ascendant is gonna have a beautiful appearance, whatever beauty, however you define beauty. I feel that there will be something that is alluring, or something that sensually attracts. So there's something that's attractive to the senses. It could be someone who has really smooth skin, or someone who just smells a certain way for you. Someone's Venus on your Ascendant you might feel like a natural attraction to them, or them to you. It's interesting. Venus plays out in many different ways. It is the planet of relationships, and when we look to it in the chart, I'd say the key words that I go to is values. What do we value? It's a relationship planet. How are we in our relationships? How do we find balance in relationships? And it's also the creative placement. So beauty, creativity. Life is born through, in a very Taurian way, planting seeds into fertile ground and then just growing beautiful trees, plants, flowers. All of that is Venusian. Venus rules flowers. She rules beautiful aromas, beautiful plants, art. It's an amazing placement. You find a lot of artists with strong Venus placements, and art can be expressed in so many different ways, through music, through poetry, through painting. There are many different ways, and this is where finding the zodiac sign that your Venus expresses itself through is a good way to tap into your creative expression. And not just your creative expression, but how you can make money, generate material abundance from your creative gifts, because Venus rules also the sign of wealth, of abundance. Whether you want to see abundance as growing foods from the earth and gathering your own fruits and vegetables, or whether you see abundance in more of a modern day financial exchange, is a necessity in this 2024. And it's associated with the sign of Taurus. When you're working with Venus, especially if you're a creative or an artist, if you've got your own spirit-led business, or you're actually wanting to transition and go freelance, looking to your Venus placement to tap into your creative gifts and how to, don't want to use the word the best way, but how you can embody Venus in her power. The zodiac sign is going to really show you the best way to do that. Look at the light expression of that sign. You might want to also look at the shadow expression of that sign and see how that plays out for you. If you identify as female, this will also be your anima. You'll see this as well in people. You know, if you identify as male, Mars would be your anima. I guess Mercury would be if you identify as they, because Mercury just wants to, Mercury adapts, it's the messenger. But I mean, just take that or leave it, you know. Whatever gender you identify as, often you'll see that expression, and we get drawn to the opposite. You can look to the Venus in your chart if you're attracted to females. You look to the Mars in your chart if you're attracted to males, and you can also just see that as divine feminine, divine masculine. You might want to try that out with Mercury, and just notice how that planet is expressing itself through the zodiac sign, and reflect on what type of person you're attracted to. Time and time again it shows up. I've worked with a few women who are attracted to bad boys, and they all got Mars in Scorpio. It's the same with guys who, you know, they often get attracted to that kind of femme fatale, Venus in Scorpio. That one's a very obvious one. To familiarize yourself with the expression of these planets, someone, you know, who's got an expression through Virgo, there's going to be much more of a no makeup, very natural look, or natural organic clothes, these sorts of things. Venus rules balancing. She is going to make things cooler when we're feeling too hot, or she's going to warm things up when we're feeling too cold. It's a place that we look at through health astrology for the lymphatic system. She rules swelling. It's a way that we can find relaxation and we can find balance. Go to your Venus placement to, yes, explore your creative expression, but also to just find a sense of harmony, peace, relaxation. If there are hard aspects to Venus in your chart, indulgence or overcoming too much pleasures, people pleasing can also be a Venus shadow. These squares can come as shadows, but also obstacles and challenges that then become strength. So someone who's got hard squares in the Venus chart is going to be someone who has an incredible feminine power or creative expression, or there is an incredible artistic or sensual quality to that person, but they're going to have to overcome some challenges. And I've seen this play out in a few charts. The Venus placement has this, my friend at the Free Titan, check his page, he talks a lot about the mythology of the planets, and really that's his speciality. And it's so interesting because he talks about Venus having this power, and this power because she actually caused this chaos in society, although no one really knew it was her. So there is just this power that can come through Venus, and I love that because it's empowering the feminine as well. Venus, when we're working with crystals, she rules phosphate family. One of my favorite stones, this is a true Venus stone all around, because it's your copper. Phosphate is your turquoise, and you've got both the metal and the non-metal governed by Venus. Turquoise is one of your top balancing crystals. It's often used for travelers. It was used in the ancient times for protecting travelers, and in amulets for protection. And we can see that also through its sacred geometry, the crystal structure. It allows us to adapt, very adaptable. It has a buffer to it. Turquoise, it's not just associated with the throat chakra for its color healing properties. That's just one key. It's an incredible balancer for the body. Phosphates balance acids and alkalis. It's the only mineral class that, and the crystals that will do that. They'll balance something that's too acidic, or will bring it more alkali, and too much alkali, it will bring it back into balance. So this is one of the roles that phosphate crystals have with the body, and you can wear it as a touchstone. You can use it as a crystal healing water. Mars in the birth chart is your action planet. Mars rules iron. It's an energizer, it's motivation, it's your drive. It's what you put action towards in your life. And again, look to the zodiac sign that it's expressing itself through. It's also got its dark side that can come out, in very impulsive ways, regardless of what sign it is. Mars just wants things now. It can be impatient. It's your planet of action, of war, just, you know, going without thinking, raging onto the battlefield. And so Mars can have some very dark expressions of it. It can rule accidents. It can rule different ways that we experience and show up in conflict. So one way to optimize and work through the healthy expression of Mars is to satisfy its need for action, and to look in your birth chart what that could be through sign. You know, Mars is definitely rules sports, exercise. If it's in a fire sign, you're never going to want to push yourself too hard, you know, just making sure that you take regular rests. Mars can get very heated, and the thing is, it's a part of the energy that needs to get satisfied, or it could get stuck or restless. For example, someone like Mars and Taurus, like myself, I really do not like running. I don't like running, but I know if I don't get exercise, I can start to feel slow. And earth signs, you might want to focus on more body or earth exercises, yoga, being on the floor, gardening, doing things that are active, that connect you with the earth. The fire signs, they're gonna need just a lot of energy outlets, so running, going to the gym, any sort of exercise that involves speed, you know, but being careful. Definitely Mars and Sagittarius can be, and Aries are a bit risk takers, so enjoying fast speed and kind of thrills might be that expression of that Mars. And so Mars will find a way to satisfy itself. It's just about being aware of also how to express it through balance, how to fully embody your Mars and satisfy that need for action, but not going OTT and also not falling behind. You know, Mars in the earth signs could get lazy, but so making sure you're finding some type of outlet for your exercise. Mars in air signs is going to enjoy yoga, breathing, probably things like tennis. Mars in Libra would probably love tennis, or couples, or sports pairs sports. So yeah, anything that involves dancing or music, ecstatic dance. And Mars and water, well, swimming, enjoying being in the ocean. I mean, I've got my Mars and Taurus, and I love being in the ocean. So this is just, it's a fun lens to look at it, but it's useful to be able to. And Kira Sutherland she's an amazing health astrologer. That's where I got some of that from. Mars is also going to be a good place to look at once you have your project, once you have what it is that you want to be doing. This is for any soul-led entrepreneurs out there. You look at the shadow expression of the zodiac sign. This is going to show you how to stay in balance and really embody. And I'm big on planetary embodiment, because I really feel when we learn how to embody the planets in their light, then we're actually able to work with them for their highest potential. So looking at the shadow and just reflecting on whether you have the shadow, and I would recommend looking at the sidereal sign, because I'm a sidereal astrologist. If you look at the tropical, I guess that could be more progressed energy, or you might resonate more with the tropical. Finding balance to whatever that shadow is means that you're going to be able to fully move forward. Taurus can get lazy, Aries can get impatient, Scorpio can get too obsessed, Virgo can get too analytical. However, all of these signs also have an incredible expression. Mars in Virgo is just making sure you actually do move ahead and stop being so busy. One of the shadows of Virgo is just running around helping everyone, so it just needs to take a break. Virgo is one of the signs associated with the nervous system, ruled by Mercury, and Gemini as well. So just actually, although there's more dedication that comes through Virgo because it's an earth sign, it can get fussed over the finer details. So just actually taking action in and not judging the self too much, just moving forward with confidence and self-assurance. And Mars and Gemini, stop flitting around. If you're wanting to get something done, it's going to be action towards lots of learning and writing, and very curious about lots of different things in life. However, if you want to manifest and embody this planet and utilize it for its benefits to actually move forward with something in your life, then you're going to want to make sure you're actually able to commit and to just stay more grounded, and just to, not get swept off by the next best thing. Mars, when we're looking at it through the relationship lens, it's how we fight. Although you wouldn't look to it for communication, it would be useful. It's useful observing how you take action, and within relationships, how you approach conflict. Mercury is going to be how you communicate, the mental and thought processes. The moon is going to be how we reflect, how we respond, our behaviors, our habits, our instinctive. That's my reaction. And so speaking to someone's moon can be super powerful. I've tried it, I've tested it, and it's really an amazing technique coined by Frank Clifford. Mars, I sense, is more about observing how we act. And so, again, checking in with what is the shadow and light expression of that. And that might well come through communication, depends how you fight, depends how you approach conflict. And I find that one of the best ways to approach conflict is to honor that expression of our anger, but how do we solve it? How do we find balance? So then you can also look to Venus to calm that fire, to find balance. And this is where Mars and Venus work with each other. Mars is going to energize if Venus can get too lazy or too just wanting to relax and lay back and swim in the pool and not get any work done. Mars is going to be like, come on now, we need to go. And if Mars is getting too heated, Venus can just cool Mars down, and so they work very well together when they can flow in harmony. The Mars stones are stones that are of the oxides, the silicates, energizing stones, your jaspers, your tiger's eye, red tiger's eye, carnelians. All of these energizing stones are all associated with Mars and good to support any energizing of that placement. Again, you would use a Mars antipathy, so to soften or balance the Mars, you could use the Venus stones and the Mars stones to boost the Venus. Grounding stones will be also good for Mars, like your smoky quartz, your dendritic crystals, tourmaline. Tourmaline is going to really bring the person back down to the earth. High blood pressure, which can also be Mars, you would want to use sodalite, and hematite as well is a great one for balancing blood pressure and energizing. Like, all of these crystals have iron. They're iron rich, so any crystals that are iron rich are going to be ruled by Mars. So I hope this has been some useful tidbits of information. Give me a shout in the comments how you feel about what I'm sharing, if there's anything specific you'd want to get into, if there are any crystals that you're interested to know about. I'm going to be sharing more about crystals. Like I said, I'm working very, very hard on a little crystal astrology book, so we'll be sharing bits of information, and thank you for being here and part of this journey.